guys, Live for Love TV. I want you to like, share and subscribe. Big up yourself.
Hi, Akuya here. I'm watching Live for Love TV. Live for Love TV, very educative program. Please subscribe, like and share. Bless up, Aya.
Welcome back to Live for Love TV. Today's the 27th day of the third month of the 23rd year inside the 21st century. Hope everyone's doing well out there. Well, today I'm going to stay in my lane, as I like to do when it comes to these talks, podcasts, videos, whatever you want to call them. I like to stay in my lane. I'm going to stay in my lane as usual. And today we're going to talk about value when it comes to the universities and the universe. So that's the universities made by man and the universe, which some people say God, some people say it created itself. I don't know what they want, or it just always was. I don't know. But the universe and the university. Now, people of my age will have probably have children or nephews or nieces or family members who have probably gone to university now. It's a lot different than when I was growing up. And maybe some of you of any age have gone to universities. Anyway, we normally, hopefully, send our children to universities, and we try to encourage them to go to universities because we know that at some point they're going to enter into the work field. Now, when they enter into the working field, they get paid by what is their perceived value. And universities, depending on what degree you get, depending on where you get it, is normally where you get your perceived value in most of the workforce, especially in the Western society, actually in all societies now, common societies. So people go to university, they study hard, they go for all kind of degrees, masters, they go back for whatsoever. And usually it's to get a higher paying position. That's the usual. Of course, they're interested in the subject and they want to do better in the subject. But normally, it's to get a higher paying position. Some of them actually come out of university with a six-figure sum as a starting fee. Doesn't always happen, but it does happen to some people, depending on where they've gone to university and what degree they've attained. Now, I'm bringing that point up because we accept that as a given. We all accept that as a given. The person's gone to university, they've got X amount of letters after their name, they themselves walk into a job. Most of them are not going to take a job that they don't think is paying much too little for them, depending on what degree they got and how they got, what job they're going for. They believe they've done enough work, 3 years in university, 4, 5, 6, I don't know how many years in university, that their value has risen and their stock has risen. Now that's perfectly understandable, I'm sure, by the people listening to this. That's how we take about with the university. But what about the universe itself? Does the universe teach? Well, if it doesn't teach, where did they get the word university from? So we all know, of any consciousness, that the universe is the ultimate teacher. But few people actually use it that way. Some people just believe that they're just here to survive, just like cats and dogs, and there's no learning that goes there. But from going back into antiquity, to Egypt, to Kemet, to way back to the Nubia, there's always been a universal understanding that people tried to attain to. And so there were some great names in the past of people who have used the universe to raise their standard. So I'm saying this because if the person who has studied in a university expects to get a higher pay or higher worth from the job they go to, then surely those who have done the universal understanding and have increased their stock, male and female, through understanding the universe and changing and doing whatever people do in universities, just basically learning, studying, regurgitating, going round and round, whatever you have to do in the university, you do in the universe to raise your stock. So obviously, if now you're a female and you're going towards a male, you're looking for a relationship with a male, and you've done your universal understanding, and you're not a common person, because you understand how a female is supposed to behave in the universe to raise her stock. That's what the universe will teach you. And so therefore you expect a higher degree of man, and whatever you call a high value man. And I'm not talking about just finances, because a high value man has got to be more than just finance. If a high value man is just his finance, then you can win the lotto and become a high value man and be sniffing all that stuff and doing all kind of degradation to yourself and mistreating your children. When we talk about high value, we're talking universally high value men. We're talking about what women's are seeking for. A man who is, let's say, loyal to them, a man who they can trust, a man who will help to teach them and protect them and help to put his life even on the line for them and the children. These kind of universal understandings that has been going on throughout the centuries. So she would expect, if she's done her work, to be able to get that high value man. And the same is true of the man. If the man has done his universal understanding, he's got his morals up, he's got what the universe would expect of a man, to be at the highest level, all the learnings and the teachings and something that he can teach people, teach his children, his grandchildren, his great-grandchildren, because he's been through it, not fearful, not sitting on the couch, not watching TV all day, not, smoking his brain into oblivion and drinking his mind completely out of all sync. But he's used his mind, his body, his soul, his spirit to the best of his ability while he's been on this planet. He's a high value. And he'll be valued by his family. He's supposed to be valued by his partner and valued by anybody in the society, his job, wherever he goes. So for those people, and I'm speaking to those people who are looking for people who have done that universal work and have done it continuously. Yeah, if you're looking for those people, if you do come across any of those people, then you have to know how you have to behave, because there is going to be an expectation of that person is going to expect from you. You can't just pick up a high value woman and treat her like you treat any woman, any ragdown woman on the street, or any woman that what they call outer road woman or whatever you want to call her. You can't just go and treat her like that. She's done the work. She's of high value. She's universal. She understands herself and her place in the universe. You have to come to her correct, and you have to behave correctly, as you won't last very long with a woman like that, and vice versa with the men. And I'm bringing this point up because it seems that there's so many people talking about they want these type of man and that type of man. What they're talking about is a universal man or a universal woman, but they themselves don't want to do any work, and they themselves only recognize the traits of the other person without looking at themselves and realizing that you're not going to attract somebody like that. You're not going to be able to attract that kind of person, or even if you do, it won't last, because you're not doing that work. You're not respecting that person. You're not giving that person the value that they deserve. If a person goes to university and comes out and wants a six-figure sum, then what about the person who's been doing that universal work all their life? What do you have to give them? What do you have to give them? You're going to give them second-class treatment? Are you going to give them, small stories and petty behavior? What are you going to give them? You have to give them the best you have. You're going to have to give them the best and more that you have, and keep increasing to give them the best you have, because that's what the universal human being is about. The universal person is a never-ending, stopping person. They're not going to stop when they get a degree or a master's or a PhD. They don't stop. They never stop until the day they die, because they understand that there isn't enough years that you have on earth to understand the universe and to increase your stock. So you continuously growing, and that's the growth, and you call spiritual growth. I don't know what you want to call it, but that's the spiritual growth that a universal person should have. So as we're talking about university plays a very important role in people's lives, and it should do, because this is man's way of understanding everything and understanding. So if you've got a job and you want to put somebody in it, they got a certain degree, there's no problem with that. That's how it goes. But when you're talking about relationships, your PhD is not going to work. Your master's is not going to work. That is not that won't wash. If you go to a woman with 17 different masters, she's not going to rate you. She's not necessarily going to rate you or put you on any particular level, because she's talking about universal work, that unseen work, the work of getting to know what the woman is, what a female is, that can't be taught in any university on earth, only by the universe itself. And the same is true of the male. This is the things you have to do. So the women, I'm imploring the younger females and the younger males to get that work done and get it done early. Get it done as early as you can. Just get it started and get going. If you're in your teens or your 20s or whatever, do that little bit of universal work. I guarantee you that people who come across you will treat you better than if you don't do that work. They will have to. And if they don't treat you better, they'll find their way out and on the road. Yeah, because they'll just, as I say, get thee behind me sort of statement. They have to, because there's nothing else they can do. They can't help you and they can't stop you. So they have to get behind you. Yeah, so you get that universal work done if you're a younger person. And this work doesn't stop at any, I don't care if you're 79 watching this video and you haven't done a day's of universal work, do it today. Because even the day after you start, I guarantee you, your stock will rise. And your life will change, and people that come around you and the people that try to engage with you will rise. They have to. That's what the universe does for you. That is it. It's as simple as that. The universe is a teacher. It's a growth teacher. It goes all the way back to Imhotep and beyond. These are the greats who understood the universe greater than we all did. The mathematicians, all of these old sciences. This is all universal work. This is what the universe can teach you. You'll become a magician, as you could call it. Some may even say a wizard. You can call a person whatever you want. Like the Magi who went to see the Christ in the Bible. These are universal understanding people who understand the universe and know how to attain what they can get from it. That rises your personal stock. And this is why it's so important. You have to be selfish to do this. You have to, and I'm using the word selfish in the best way, not in the way it's used in the dictionary where it's all about you. Because once you get your universal stock, you have to be selfish so you don't let anybody stop you from attaining that universal stock. Like a person who goes to university, you can't be with your friends out there drinking and smoking all day long and get that degree. It won't work. You've got to be selfish to get it. But when you get it, then you can use it for everybody else. That's the purpose of it. And it's the same as your universal stock. You're selfish when you go to attain it, but it's for the benefit of everybody around you, your family, your friends, the job, your community, your race, your culture, wherever you are and wherever you use it, it'll be for the benefit of all people, because there's nothing that you can have that's of any use that will be for you and you alone. There's nothing there. So that's why you have to be selfish on the way to getting this education, getting this true knowledge, getting this true growth. When you're selfish and you get this, it will pay everybody who knows you, everybody who's of any use to you, or you're of any use to as well. Yeah. So if you're a male and you meet a female, she will benefit of all the work you've done if she's ready. And the same is true vice versa. If a woman has done this work, the man benefits. When he meets you, he instantly benefits. And if he's got any sense, he'll recognize straight away, this is a woman who's learned. This is a woman that understands. And let's go back in the scriptures have some words where it talks about things like being submissive, and talking about females being submissive to their men. Well, men have to be submissive to the universe. It's just like everybody has to be submissive in order to learn. You have to be submissive. Now, does submissive mean that someone's going to walk all over you and trample all over you and disrespect you and all that? If that's what people are taking, I'm not surprised people are bucking against being submissive. But just remember this, especially some of you females that are on this particular case that are claiming you're not submissive. If you're lying down with men who haven't committed to you with their heart and soul, and they will give up everything for you, then you're already submissive anyway. So just saying you're not submissive with your mouth and shouting and arguing is ridiculous, because if you're opening your legs to someone who's uncommitted. And if you've opened your leg to someone who is committed to you, you're still submissive. So submissive is not a bad thing. It's just that some know they're submissive and some don't know and try to buck against it and pretend they're not, when they really are. It's just a roundabout. It's just a play on words. But the submissiveness, women are submissive because that's the height of the woman, the height of her. What's happened in modern times is she's actually fallen from her true heights and now thinks that she's independent, doesn't need a man, but wants one. What do you want one for if you don't need one? If you don't need one, what do you want him for? You need him. That's why you want him. You need him, and that's the crux of the whole thing. And that's where the whole thing is. It's a conversation that's going to go run and run and run. It runs in the manosphere. It's going to run all over the place. No one's going to necessarily say, "Oh, this man is saying this, therefore I'm going to believe it." No problem about that. But the reality is this: that submissiveness is the height of a woman, not weakness. That's her strength. That's her strength. Anyway, the rain's coming down. The blessing is hitting me. And it's time for me to say bye till next time. So Live for Love TV. Take care. See you soon.
People, one step more, one step more, one step more, one step more until you reach your goals. One step more. This is Live for Love.